You are sitting there right now, staring into the quiet of your room, and a strange, heavy sensation is washing over you. You look around, and while nothing has physically changed in your environment, everything feels entirely foreign. The air in the room feels thick, almost weighted, as if an invisible pressure is resting upon your shoulders. You have been looking at your phone, scrolling endlessly, searching for some kind of external validation, some sign, some distraction, but nothing is connecting. Everything feels utterly hollow. There is a hum in your ears, a subtle, persistent, high-pitched ringing that simply will not stop. You feel a profound, aching physical exhaustion deep within the marrow of your bones. Yet your mind is completely wired. You are tired, so incredibly tired, but you are unable to just shut down, close your eyes, and rest. You are scanning your reality, searching for what is out of place. And then, the emotional wave hits you. It brings a bizarre, unexplainable grief, a sharp, echoing loneliness that does not make any logical sense to your rational mind. You have done the work. You have meticulously cut the cords. You have walked away from the narcissists, the energy vampires, and the family members who could only love a false, diminished version of you. You made the agonizing choices. You bled out emotionally so you could finally heal and reclaim your sovereign energy. And yet, tonight, you feel a lingering, haunting emptiness. A quiet, insidious voice in the back of your mind is whispering that perhaps you are the problem. Perhaps you are broken. You feel a sudden pang of mourning for a life, and for people that you actively chose to leave behind because you knew they were slowly killing your spirit. This is the emotional paradox of the chosen one. The Matrix programming is deploying its final, desperate tactic, trying to pull you back into the familiar, predictable comfort of your old pain. It wants you to confuse peace with isolation. It wants you to feel that you are missing something. But listen to me very closely. This is where the illusion completely shatters. I need you to hear this truth at the very core of your soul. What you are feeling right now is not a lack. What you are feeling is not a void. You are feeling the massive, terrifying weight of infinite potential. You are feeling the undeniable vibration of the chains finally hitting the floor. For your entire life, your aura has been crowded by spiritual parasites, crowded by the dense, suffocating expectations of the Matrix, crowded by the low-vibration projections of people who desperately needed you to stay small, confused, and drained so they could feel powerful. Your spiritual bandwidth was entirely occupied by mere survival. Now, those dark entities have been cast out. The frequency of your energetic field has shifted so radically, so violently upward, that your human nervous system is currently malfunctioning. It is confusing peace with emptiness. Your spirit has finally been given the room to breathe. And the sheer volume of this new, purified space is overwhelming your physical senses. You are not missing anything tonight. In fact, for the first time in your earthly incarnation, you are completely, undeniably whole. The spiritual reality, the unseen truth occurring right in your room at this very second, is that the divine has placed an impenetrable seal of protection around you. That ringing in your ears, that is the sound of your personal frequency stabilizing at a much higher dimensional octave. That physical exhaustion, that is your cellular structure literally upgrading, purging toxins, and rewiring itself after decades of relentless spiritual warfare. You are sitting there waiting for the other shoe to drop because the Matrix conditioned you to believe that peace is always a trap, that silence is always followed by punishment. But you are no longer in their matrix. You have stepped entirely out of their karmic cycle. You have entered the realm of pure creation. Feel into that right now. Feel the vastness of the room you are in. It is not empty. It is saturated with a heavy, golden divine presence. The narcissists want you to believe that without them, you are nothing. The world wants you to believe that because you are alone tonight, you are abandoned. But they are absolutely terrified of the silence you are sitting in right now. Because in this silence, you are untouchable. You are remembering exactly who and what you are. And tonight, absolutely nothing is missing. You are asking yourself why. If this is a divine elevation, it feels so utterly draining. Why does stepping into your absolute power feel like walking through thick, heavy mud? You must understand the mechanics of what is actually happening to your energy field right now. You have not just changed your mind or set new boundaries. You have fundamentally altered your vibrational baseline for years. You were operating at a frequency specifically designed to accommodate the brokenness of the people around you. You lowered your light, dimmed your aura, and compressed your spirit so that you could fit into the low-density environments of your family, your workplaces, and your past relationships. You became a spiritual shock absorber for the Matrix. You took on their heavy, unresolved karma, their projected insecurities, and their unspoken fears, processing it all through your own energetic body. That is why you were always labeled the crazy one, the too sensitive one, the black sheep. You were a high-dimensional being, desperately trying to translate a massive, pure frequency into a dense, unawakened environment. But something recently shifted. A divine trigger was pulled. You reached a threshold where your soul simply refused to be compressed any longer. You broke the invisible, unspoken contract that said you had to burn yourself alive to keep others warm. When you finally said no, when you finally walked away and actively chose your own energetic sovereignty, you didn't just cause a psychological rift, you caused a literal spiritual earthquake in the unseen realm. The physical exhaustion, the sudden brain fog, and the stark isolation you are experiencing are the direct result of this massive vibrational purging. Think of a deep-sea diver coming up to the surface too quickly. They experience the bends. You are experiencing spiritual decompression. Your cellular memory is currently weeping out decades of suppressed density. The heavy, leaden feelings in your chest are the remnants of their toxic projections leaving your physical vessel. You can feel it in the way certain foods suddenly repel you, in the way certain environments feel suffocating, in the way superficial small talk feels physically painful to engage in. Your new intolerance for inauthenticity is not a character flaw. It is a highly evolved spiritual defense mechanism activating. You are vibrating so high and so intensely fast that your physical body is demanding complete rest to integrate this new frequency. Furthermore, by stepping out of their frequency, you broke a foundational rule of the Matrix, the rule of complicity. The system relies entirely on empaths and chosen ones to remain asleep and continuously feed it with their life force. By withdrawing your precious energy, you have effectively starved the parasitic connections that were securely attached to you. The spiritual realm is aggressively realigning around your new coordinate. The old structures, the old timelines, and the old versions of people who were meant to test you are now collapsing, simply because they no longer have your light to sustain them. They told you that your isolation was a punishment. They whispered that your loneliness was a sign that you had made a massive mistake, that you were unlovable, that you were destined to be discarded and forgotten. But the divine truth, the undeniable, unshakable reality of your current existence is that this isolation is an active, fiercely protected quarantine. The universe has deliberately emptied your space to prevent any low-frequency interference while your spiritual upgrades are being installed. You cannot build a crystalline structure on a foundation of mud. You cannot anchor new, prophetic light while still entertaining the comfortable shadows of your past. You are feeling the heavy silence in your room because the universe has shut the door and locked it from the outside to protect you. The connections you mourn were never truly connections. They were leashes. And now that the leashes are permanently cut, the sheer momentum of your unhindered soul is terrifying to your human ego. Do not fight the exhaustion tonight. Do not pathologize the silence. Understand that your spirit is doing the heavy lifting of 1,000 lifetimes right now, breaking thick generational curses and resetting the timeline of your entire bloodline. You are the pioneer, and the pioneer always walks into the quiet unknown first. While you sit here in this heavy, golden silence, integrating your new frequency, you must understand what is happening on the other side of the veil. The people you left behind, the narcissists, the energy vampires, the family members who operated as agents of the Matrix are currently in a state of absolute, unexplainable panic on a physical level. You might be seeing the bizarre manifestations of this right now. Perhaps they are suddenly watching your social media stories from fake accounts. Perhaps they are sending innocent text messages asking how you are, trying to bait you into a response. Perhaps you are hearing through the grapevine that they are spreading smear campaigns, spinning frantic narratives to anyone who will listen, painting you as the villain, the crazy one, the one who abandoned them. They are creating chaotic physical drama because they desperately need you to look back at them. They need your attention, your defense, your anger. Any reaction will do. But you must look deeper. Underneath their petty physical actions is a profound emotional terror. For years, they used you as their emotional regulatory system. Whenever they felt empty, insecure, or deeply inadequate, they would trigger you, siphon your high vibrational energy, and suddenly feel powerful again. You were their battery. Now that you have completely severed the cord, they are being forced to sit with their own hollow, unresolved trauma. The emotional void they are experiencing right now is excruciating for them because they do not possess the spiritual tools to heal themselves. They are suffocating in the density of their own unhealed wounds, their sudden anger towards you, their frantic attempts to pull you back in. You are not born of love or missing you. They are born of a desperate, clawing addiction to your light. You cut off their supply, and they are experiencing severe emotional withdrawal. They are terrified because they are finally realizing that they needed you far more than you ever needed them. And spiritually, the reality is even more stark. The parasitic entities that operated through these people are starving. When you elevated your frequency and sealed your aura, you became spiritually invisible to them. You are now operating on a bandwidth they cannot access. They are wandering blindly in the lower dimensions, thrashing about, trying to locate the luminous signature they fed on for so long. But they cannot find you. The matrix itself is glitching in its attempt to recalibrate around your absence. The system relies on the subjugation of the chosen ones, It relies on your light being trapped in their dense, low-vibrational karmic loops. By stepping out, you have literally punched a hole in their matrix. This is why you must not break the silence tonight. When you feel that fleeting moment of doubt, when your empathy tries to trick you into checking on them or feeling sorry for them, recognize it as a trap. The moment you extend your energy backward, you open a portal for their lower frequencies to reattach. They are not waiting for you to return so they can love you properly. They are waiting for you to return so they can resume feeding. But they cannot reach you unless you lower your drawbridge. Your silence is your ultimate weapon. Your absolute refusal to engage is the highest form of spiritual warfare. You do not have to fight them. You do not have to explain your evolution to them. You simply have to exist in your new, untouchable frequency. Feel the contrast right now, while they are spinning in their lower dimensional chaos, desperately grasping for a sense of control they have permanently lost. You are resting. You are anchored. You are absorbing the infinite, quiet power of the divine. Their panic is the ultimate confirmation of your true power. The frantic energy they are projecting into the ether right now is a testament to the massive, irreplaceable void your departure created in their lives. Let them scramble. Let them spin their false, transparent narratives. Let the matrix deploy its dying traps. You are completely immune. You are seated on the throne of your own energetic sovereignty, watching the illusions burn from a safe, untouchable distance. You hold the ultimate authority over your reality now. The grand architect of the universe does not make mistakes. What you are experiencing in this exact moment is not a random series of unfortunate events. It is not bad luck, and it is certainly not a punishment for some perceived flaw in your character. To understand the magnitude of what is happening to you, we must pull back the veil and look at the supreme, unshakable laws of the universe. We must look at the divine prophecy that was written into your spiritual DNA long before you ever took your first breath in this physical incarnation. On the physical plane, it looks as though your life has been placed into a cosmic centrifuge. The sudden endings, the relationships that evaporated overnight, the jobs that abruptly closed their doors, the inexplicable urge to uproot your entire existence. It looks like destruction to the untrained eye. The matrix would have you believe that you are failing. It points to the debris of your old life and whispers that you are losing everything. But what is actually happening physically is a divine excavation. The universe is aggressively bulldozing the structures that were built on false foundations. You cannot house a fifth-dimensional frequency in a third-dimensional construct. The physical clearing you are witnessing is the highest form of divine intervention. The Creator is literally removing the obstacles that your human ego was too afraid to let go of. Emotionally, you are sitting in the crucible of the ego's death. The grief you feel is not just for the people or the places you have left behind. It is the profound mourning of your old identity. For so long, you identified with being the healer, the peacekeeper, the one who endured the unbearable for the sake of others. Your emotional baseline was tethered to their chaos. Now, as the divine strips away those false roles, your emotional body feels raw and exposed. You are being asked to completely surrender the narrative of who you thought you had to be to survive. This emotional surrender is terrifying because it requires absolute trust in the unseen. It requires you to stop fighting the current and allow the divine river to carry you. You are not losing yourself. You are finally meeting your true self. But the absolute truth, the deepest spiritual reality of your existence, is rooted in the law of resonance and the ancient prophecy of the chosen ones. You were not sent here to blend in. You were not sent here to live a quiet, compliant life within the matrix. You are part of an elite soul group, the cycle breakers, the starseeds, the ancient ones who agreed to incarnate at this exact moment in human history to anchor a new frequency on this planet. Your bloodline carries centuries of unresolved trauma, dense generational curses, and karmic debt. You were the one chosen by the divine to step into that bloodline, absorb the density, and transmute it into light. You are the energetic filter for your entire ancestry. When you made the choice to heal, when you chose to walk away from the toxicity, you didn't just save yourself, you sent a shockwave of healing backwards and forwards through time. You broke the curse. You fulfilled the prophecy. The universe is now elevating you because your assignment in the trenches is officially over. The heavy lifting is done. You are being pulled into the upper echelons of spiritual authority. The reason the Matrix fought you so hard, the reason the narcissists tried to destroy you, is because the dark entities ruling this realm knew exactly who you were the moment you were born. They saw the dormant prophecy in your aura. They knew that if you ever woke up, their reign of terror over your timeline would instantly end. And now, you are awake. The activation is complete. The universe is realigning all of its cosmic forces to support your new trajectory. The doors that are about to open for you will not require you to force them. The people who are about to enter your life will not require you to shrink or translate your soul. You are stepping into the era of divine compensation. Every tear, every sleepless night, every ounce of energy you poured into ungrateful hands is being calculated by the divine. And the return on your energetic investment is imminent. You are standing on the precipice of absolute vindication. Now that you understand the profound magnitude of what is happening behind the veil, you must learn how to physically anchor this new, towering frequency into your daily human existence. Tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, the physical world will likely attempt to test your resolve one last time. You might wake up to an unexpected text message from the very person you just cut ties with. You might experience a sudden physical compulsion to check their social media, just to see if they are hurting as much as you were. Your phone might glitch. You might experience a fleeting, sharp physical headache. Physically, in that exact moment, I need you to stop. Put the device down. Walk away from the glowing screen. Go outside and place your bare feet directly onto the earth. Drink a glass of pure, clean water. Breathe the heavy air deeply into the bottom of your lungs. These might sound like basic, mundane actions to the unawakened mind. But for a chosen one, in the midst of a timeline jump, these are radical, physical declarations of sovereignty. By actively choosing to ground your physical vessel instead of reacting to their low-frequency bait, you are physically locking the door that you just walked through. As you execute these physical boundaries, I want you to pay very close attention to the emotional storm that will try to rise up within you. The old version of you, the version that was programmed by the Matrix, would have immediately drowned in an overwhelming wave of guilt. You would have felt the desperate, anxious need to explain your silence, to apologize for your boundaries, to manage their emotions so they wouldn't be angry with you. I want you to locate that residual, heavy guilt sitting right there in the center of your chest, and I want you to forcefully exhale it. That guilt does not belong to you. It never did. It is a fabricated emotional response, a virus installed by the narcissists to keep you compliant and easily harvestable. Feel that old programming is dissolving right now. Notice the profound emotional shift occurring as you give yourself permission to let them misunderstand you. Feel the incredible, liberating transition from chronic, people-pleasing anxiety to a deep, unshakable, and unapologetic peace. You are finally emotionally unavailable to anyone who requires you to shrink. Spiritually, this is the most critical phase, the moment of the great sealing. You have successfully purged the density. You have survived the spiritual decompression. Now, we must permanently close the energetic portals. I want you to visualize a thick, impenetrable wall of blinding, golden white light descending from the highest dimensional realms. Watch in your mind's eye as it completely envelops your physical body, your bedroom, your home, and your entire energetic field. This is the divine firewall. From this second forward, any lower entity, any psychic attack, any smear campaign, and any desperate, vampiric cord they try to throw in your direction will instantly burn to ash upon contact with this shield. You are now commanding your spirit to call back every single fragment of your power from every timeline, every alternate dimension, and every ungrateful person who ever siphoned it from you. I want you to speak this truth into the ether right now. Speak it with the absolute authority of a high-dimensional being, whether silently in your mind or out loud to the quiet walls of your room. Repeat this frequency. I decree and declare that I am a sovereign entity of the highest divine light. I officially break every karmic contract, every trauma bond, and every generational curse that tethered my soul to their matrix of suffering. I return all projected density, all jealousy, and all malice permanently back to its sender. My life force is my own. My frequency is my absolute fortress. I am completely untouchable. I am fiercely protected by the divine. And I am boldly stepping into my ordained timeline of infinite abundance and peace. If you can feel the undeniable truth of these words vibrating deep within your cellular structure tonight, if you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are a part of this ancient, chosen lineage, you must claim this activation right now. Hit the subscribe button to permanently anchor yourself to this high vibrational channel. Leave a comment below saying, "My energy is sealed," to put the physical and spiritual universe on notice that your gates are closed forever. You are the chosen one. You have survived the fire, and you have won the unseen war. Now, rest deeply in your reclaimed power. We will speak again very